What is your end goal for playing Call of Duty? And I guess that's not really like the best way to ask that question. I should be asking, why do you play Call of Duty? Because there's a lot of people that play Call of Duty for different reasons. So let me know in the comment section and we'll try to bounce ideas off of each other. And this is going to be a video kind of continuing the conversation yesterday of what the camo grinds can look like in the future if Call of Duty doesn't release every year. And this video is just going to be talking about everything because it feels like there's nothing to do in Call of Duty right now. I have the atomic camo on every single gun in the game, and I'm very close to Dark Ether as well. I think with Dark Ether, I just need assault rifles, SMGs, LMGs, and pistols, and I'm done. And I'm pretty much done the pistol and LMG category, so I really just have ARs and SMGs, and then I'm done. And in turn, while playing Vanguard and getting these camos, I also have completed a lot of the base game challenges. Like just through gameplay in itself, I have completed, I would say 90% of the multiplayer challenges, and then zombies related, since I'm not really there to Dark Ether yet, I would say around like 60% of the in-game challenges. And with every season, we do receive more challenges as well. But the thing with the season 1 challenges in Vanguard, I've completed all the multiplayer ones just by playing multiplayer itself. And zombies, I've done the same thing. I think I have 3 challenges left in zombies, and that's just by playing the game. And then of course I could go do like the actual achievements in the campaign and stuff like that, but there's not a whole lot for us to do in the game. And I know that there's players like me that complete the challenges extremely fast, but there's still not a lot of challenges to do within Call of Duty. So what is that going to look like when Call of Duty doesn't release every year anymore and we have 2 years with a single game? The most logical answer, if you use your critical thinking skills, is, oh, they're just going to add more challenges into the game. But adding more challenges doesn't make the game more interesting, and it doesn't give us more to do. A good example of like the perfect balance of stuff to do in a game would be a game like Modern Warfare 3, or I guess Modern Warfare 2 as well, because you had a lot of challenges to work towards. And even to this day, there's players that have been playing those games that still haven't completed all the challenges. A great example of this is Modern Warfare 3. We'll just talk about that. They're pretty much identical. So Modern Warfare 3, you have gold guns, which you can get by getting the weapons to max level and completing weapon challenges. You can get 20th prestige, so prestiging 20 times, as well as you get like prestige token bonuses for every time you prestige. You have, I think it's like 1,000 plus emblems you can work towards. So you kind of know how like emblems now we unlock throughout the battle pass and like just weird, random, obscure challenges. For those that haven't played the older Call of Duties, you had to unlock emblems and calling cards, and there was so many different challenges you could do. There was also thousands of calling card challenges, and the challenges ranged from getting nuked. Like there was a literal challenge in Modern Warfare 3 where you got a calling card for having a Moab called in against you and dying to that Moab. There was also calling card challenges for getting like 5,000 kills with every weapon and 1,000 headshots with every weapon, and there was just so much to work towards. But in modern Call of Duty, we don't really see that, so that gives me a little bit of worry for Call of Duties if they don't release every year anymore. And once again, the logical thing to do is just add more challenges, but that's not going to solve the problem, because let's look at Vanguard, for example. We have a prestige system kind of within the seasons, but we're limited to how far we can go. We can get to level 1,000 in every season, but it doesn't really matter because next season your level resets anyways, and there's no way to show off that you got to level 1,000 other than your prestige ribbon, which only changes for getting Master Prestige, so level 200 in every season. So it doesn't matter if you get to level 1,000 or not. That doesn't matter. So we have that. We also have Mastery Camo Grinds, which is basically the main grind you can do now within Call of Duty, because prestiging doesn't really matter. You have the base game challenges, which also don't really matter, and you can kind of complete just while playing the game, which is how some challenges should be. A majority of challenges should just be unlocked through random challenges while playing the game. Like for example, in Modern Warfare 3, there was a challenge for getting a cross-map throwing knife. Every game at the beginning of the game, you would always throw a throwing knife as far as you could across the map to try and get a kill, and you could get a reward for that. You didn't have to like specifically grind for that challenge. You could just unlock it just by chance. And that's how a lot of challenges should become in the future. And we should have a lot more incentive to do challenges, because if we look at how season challenges are based right now within Vanguard, and it was the same in Cold War as well, you do the 20 seasonal challenges that you unlock every 10 levels for the first 200 levels. And then if you complete all those season challenges, you get a calling card. Really cool, right? Like you get a calling card that no one else is going to have unless they've completed the challenges as well. Except the thing is with Vanguard, you can only literally run one calling card at a single time, and there's no calling card showcase. So what happens in season 4 when you've completed seasons 1 through 3 already, and you want to show off your calling cards, but you can only pick one? It basically defeats the point of completing those calling card challenges. And when we look at Cold War, there was Dark Aether and DM Ultra calling cards. So if you had a mastery camo, sure, you could show off your mastery camo in game. That's all great. But then you could also show it off via calling card and emblem. So once you have that camo master calling card and emblem, so why would you show off that seasonal challenge calling card? And sure, you could also throw it in your calling card showcase where you can show off 3 calling cards. I think that's great, and I think it should be in most Call of Duties. Unfortunately, it's only been in trailer from now on, but there's just nothing to show your progression. Only you know how far you've grinded, and a lot of people grind to show off the grinds that they've completed. For example, mastery camos. People show off those camos not because they look cool or because they're an animated camo, but because it takes a lot of work to get those camos. So with emblems and calling cards, they should bring back what Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3 did with having hundreds and hundreds of calling cards and emblems that were really hard to unlock. And sure, you can only run one emblem and one calling card at the same time, but the sheer amount that you could unlock, you could change your combination of calling cards all the time. And you can technically do the same thing nowadays. And because there's not a lot of calling cards worth showing off these days, once you get a calling card for, say, getting a tactical nuke in Modern Warfare or getting a mastery camo in Cold War, odds are you're going to show off that calling card rather than just any other cool calling card that you've gotten. So they need to find a way to introduce more challenges and more things to do in game, as well as have them be worth doing. Because right now, realistically, the only challenge I find useful in game is mastery camos, and that's because you can use them in their native game, and you can also use them in Warzone 2, which actually is a huge bonus, because if you play Warzone and you have all your mastery camos from every single game that you've played all in one place, you can show off multiple at the same time, which is fantastic. And I think we need something like that in the future. If you guys have ever played Modern Warfare 3, under your calling card or your gamer tag, you had 4 dots, and each of those 4 dots was a placeholder for your previous game's prestige. So for example, if you were prestige 15 in Black Ops 1, it would show that on your Modern Warfare 3 calling card. And we have something similar to that with the new Master Prestige ribbons that we can now acquire every season. And it's the exact same ribbons that we saw in Cold War, just made for Vanguard. But there needs to be something more to do. And with more development time, like I think each dev studio is now going to have like 6 years. Well, okay, in theory, 6 years to develop a game if Call of Duty moves to every 2 years rather than every year having a release. That means they'll have 6 years to add a lot of content to the game, but it matters if they do the content right. Like they could add 1 billion calling cards to the game, but if they don't do it right, and if they don't have challenges that are fun to grind and that are worth doing, those 1 billion calling cards are useless. So they have to find a way to add enough content in the game for a whole 2 years instead of just 1 now. And there needs to be more content put into Call of Duty games. By season 6 of Vanguard, there's going to be so much more stuff to do then than there was at launch. But for a player like me who completes all of the launch content within the first 2 months, as new seasons bring out more content, we finish that content pretty quick. So there needs to be a steady stream of content, or there just needs to be enough base content to begin with. And I know I'm starting to ramble now, so I'll try to wrap it up here. I want to see Call of Duty improve in the future. I want them to have more stuff to do, not only for players like me who want to complete everything, quite literally completionist players, but just more in-game content to begin with. A great example of a 2-year cycle would be very similar to what Black Ops 3 did. Black Ops 3 had a great DLC season, lots of stuff to do from the launch of the game, and a year after it was launched, it brought Zombies Chronicles. Now, I'm not saying that Call of Duty should bring back a Chronicles mode, whether that's like a Zombies Chronicles or a multiplayer Chronicles back every year, but having content like that in the second second year is what's going to keep players playing the game, or at least players like me playing the game for as long as possible and having fun for longer, and retaining players like me on the game. With that being said, let me know what you guys think in the comment section, because it just feels like there's nothing to do in Call of Duty right now other than quite literally just play. With that being said, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Stay happy, stay healthy, and if there is one, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.